Hi guys, this is Jess with This Tiny Schoolhouse, and today I am going to be talking about a looping basket and how we use it to fit in all of the different subjects we want to cover at one time without being bulked down with schoolwork all day long. I want to preface this video by saying two things. One, that I am no expert on homeschool. This is just what works for us, and I thought I would share it with you guys in case it worked for you as well. I will only be talking about one homeschooled kiddo, but this could work really well with a larger family where you need to kind of work things in family style. But I only have one kiddo who's homeschooled age. My toddler, my 3-year-old, does not actually sit down and do any kind of schedule or any kind of bookwork yet. So he is not included when I am talking about these things. So I will only be referencing my eldest daughter, Emma, who is 8 and going into 3rd grade. What is a looping basket? You might be asking yourself upon looking at this video. Is it a morning basket? Is it the same thing as that? And the answer is no, it's not a morning basket. A morning basket is kind of something you fill and you do every morning. It's part of your morning routine in homeschool. Those have never worked for us. I would really love to get it to work for us, and I've tried so many times, but I've just never, it doesn't really fit in with the way that we do homeschool. But this is a looping basket, which will make a little more sense in a minute. We do not follow any kind of schedule or routine when it comes to homeschool. I have tried a lot of different ways and a lot of different times to implement scheduling and planning and stuff into our homeschool, but it just doesn't really work out very well for us. And then when I really sit down and start thinking about it, the rest of their lives are going to be scheduled, and they're going to constantly have to get up for school or college or get up for work or even just get up with their own kids one day maybe, and the whole life is going to be scheduled. I like to kind of be able to gift them with a period of slowness where they have time to wake up as they please, where they can just relax and find comfort in their home, and that way school doesn't feel like so much of a pressure. Now, my kiddos are still really young. This could change in the future when they're older or like in high school to kind of help them get in the habit of developing good routines. But right now, with an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, sleep is kind of the most important thing for me. So for me, I have been very organized my entire life. I spent more money on school supplies as a kiddo myself than I did on actual school clothes. I loved the stickers and labeling all of my stuff. I love organization. So I have tried every which way to make a very plan A style homeschool, but it never works for us. I inevitably plan too much in one day, so I'll try to hit all the subjects in one day, or I will do like reading and math every day, and then science on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and history on Tuesday, Thursday. But then something happens inevitably during that week where I can't hit one of the things that I have scheduled. Maybe a doctor's appointment comes up and on Tuesday I miss our extra curriculum. Maybe on Wednesday I can't do a science experiment because I realized that I forgot to have one of the materials from the store and I don't feel like running out and getting it. Maybe I won a contest and get to go spend $1,000 at the store. I don't know. As homeschoolers, we know that life gets in the way of school a lot of the time. I very firmly believe that life is learning, but when you have something you want to accomplish and you don't get it done, it just makes you feel like such a failure, and then you have to erase things in your planner if you were smart enough to write it in pencil, and then move things around, and then do you skip social studies the next day if you missed science the day before to do your science, or do you try to fit it all in, and then is your kiddo overwhelmed? There's just so many factors. So what I like to do is what is called a looping basket. I am not the person who has coined this term or who came up with this idea. I believe Pam Barnhill, the amazing Pam Barnhill, is the one who came up with this and coined the term looping basket. I'm sure people have been doing it long before it was called a looping basket, but that's the first place I heard about it. This also works really well for us because we school year round. So when we are done with one curriculum, we're not done for the year. We just pick back up on a curriculum and keep going. So a loop kind of really works well for us in that aspect. So to get into what the looping basket actually is, I've talked about what it is, and it's not setting a schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday we do science, Tuesday, Thursday we do history. It's actually making a list of all of your subjects and then doing those on a loop. I guess the easiest way is to show you kind of how I'm doing it. There are different tweaks you can make to make it work for you. So this, I have it written out on here so that Emma can check mark off her stuff, but we have daily tasks that we have to do. This is not all curriculum. I follow a Charlotte Mason kind of ideology to an extent, and I don't really like the term habit training, but that's the term that Charlotte Mason uses. I want to just get Emma to start incorporating good habits into her routine. I don't really like to think of it as training. She's not a dog or a puppy, but I want to kind of reinforce good habits for her. So everything that she has to do in the morning or on a daily basis is in our first box with check marks, because she has to make sure to get those done. So things like brushing your teeth after breakfast, obviously she does that, but I'd like her to just do it without me having to tell her. Make her bed, brush her hair, feed her pets, and she has a hamster and a dog, so she can feed those and let them out in the morning and take care of them. And none of that has anything to do with school. It's all just good habits I want her to learn. And then we get into a little bit of our school stuff. Every day I want us to do our calendar time. We did calendar time when she was a lot younger, and then I realized that she'd forgotten most of the days or the months and that kind of thing, and the order of the month. So I want to kind of incorporate that back into for her just as like a review. We're going to do our reading, and if you guys watched one of my last videos, you know that we are completely switching up our reading. We are no longer doing a language arts curriculum. We are just reading and having a book year where we're going to be focusing on learning words and working on our reading and working on comprehension. So for her reading, she just has to read a certain portion of her book every day. And then I am developing, if there's not already something along with it, a comprehension sheet. So it'll have a couple questions about what happened in the chapter or the reading that she was supposed to do, and then some copy work so that she can work on her writing and her spacing out, that kind of thing. Then she has to do a journal entry every day. This can be anywhere from one sentence to a paragraph, mostly just to start working on her spelling. We've been so focused on her reading the last year because she went from a kindergarten level reading level to almost a third grade reading level last year. So we've been so focused on that we haven't really spent any time in spelling. So I've noticed her spelling is a little off, kind of more at a beginning of the second grade level rather than almost a third grade level. So a journal entry will really help with that. We can go through and correct things and just get her used to writing. And then she also has to do some form of math every day. We have 3 different math curriculums that we use. Singapore is our spine, what we use to learn new things. And then she also has math lessons with the Living Education as kind of a review or quick kind of math thing, and then Abeka worksheets as a review or just a quick kind of math thing. So she has to do some form of that every day. And then we get into our loop tasks. On our loop tasks, our loop tasks consist of Sassafras Science, which is a science read aloud that we do, and then she has to create kind of art about the animal we talked about. We have our U.S. history from Master Books, world history from Story of the World, our science unit study. Right now we are currently working through the space science unit study from The Good and the Beautiful. She has her handwriting, which is also from Good and the Beautiful. We're going to start doing Word of the Week, where she just has to write it in her book, and then we just try to use it throughout that week. So I have it written on our board in cursive and then in print with the definition, and I just want her to write that down. We've been working on cursive with her handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful. We also have our composer study. We're talking about Beethoven, and our composer study is actually from Simply Charlotte Mason. And then her map work. That's kind of her geography for this time. I'm trying to get her to memorize where the continents are and the oceans are and their names and how to spell them. She's actually got all the continents down at this point. She's just working on the oceans. That might change throughout the month, but every month or as needed, I am going to redo this list and come up with some new things. So we'll be switching our unit studies out, our sciences out, that kind of thing. Eventually we'll be done with Sassafras Science. U.S. history and world history will take us the rest of the year. So she'll have to do everything in this daily column every single day. But she can pick anywhere from 1 to 3 to 5 of these extra loops a day. Rather than saying we're going to do chapter 2 of U.S. history and read a chapter of Sassafras Science today, we can pick and say we are really digging school today, and we're going to do the next chapter in Sassafras Science, the next chapter in U.S. history, Word of the Week, and then the next pages in handwriting. So it leaves you room to wiggle. So if you miss a day, you're not actually missing out on anything. You just pick up from where you left off the last time you were using that subject. So we can pick anywhere from 1 to 3 of these a day, depending on how our day is going. Some days we're really busy. Some days we're just not in the mood to do school. I noticed that Emma is not retaining anything and is not benefiting from doing any book work. We will stop book work. We are not strict on getting this stuff done, especially if she's not benefiting from it. I didn't pay money for this and plan all this stuff out for her to not enjoy it. We will switch, and then the next day she could get a little bit of more of sleep, feel like she got rested, feel like she got to play a lot the day before, and be really ready to learn. And we can hit a couple subjects, whereas the day before we would be missing out on just doing one. So as far as this goes, this is kind of our lesson plan, our roadmap for school. But then we're in Ohio, so we don't really have a lot of restrictions. We don't have to keep records, we don't have to keep a portfolio. But you're probably thinking, what the heck do I do if I have to plan all this stuff out and I have to show that we've actually done school throughout the year? We don't have to do that in Ohio. We have very relaxed restrictions. So what I do to keep records, just in case we ever move to a different state that requires it, or Ohio ever changes its laws, which I think is coming with the increase of homeschoolers and the decrease in funding schools are going to be seeing from all the homeschoolers, I write down in my planner what we actually did for the day. So instead of writing out, I want to do this, I want to do chapter 2, I want to do chapter 3, and checking it off as it gets done, I just say we did 2 pages in our Rebecca workbook today, we read 3 chapters out of our book, we did comprehension questions, we wrote a paragraph on our favorite thing to do outside, and I keep that as my records. I'm going to be showing you guys in future videos how I plan out my loop for that month. This is what we're doing this month, and hopefully that will get us kind of ready for and set up for the new school year. We do a very, very relaxed bookwork schedule during the summer, and then we kind of get more back into it once back to school time comes around.
Am I in there?
Yeah. Are you in Mommy's video?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you homeschooled? No, yes you are. Okay, so that is how I have set up my loop schedule for this year. It doesn't all fit in a basket, so it's not technically a looping basket, but that is how I set up our schedule for the upcoming month of August, and hopefully for the year that will really just work for us. So I hope you guys like the video. I hope this gives you some kind of information about how you could possibly set up your loop schedule, and maybe if you do, let me know down below. Send me a picture of it on Instagram. My Instagram is thistinyschoolhouse as well. So tag me in it on Instagram or send it to me in my email. I would love to hear from you guys, or if you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see, how we do things, how we organize things, let me know. I'd be happy to film it. Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye!